I've got an email today from a rebooter with PIED trying to recover in secret while dating the woman he hopes to marry. Our rebooter writes, "My porn addiction started when I was in final year at basic school. I was ignorant of the addictive behavior of porn and its adverse effects until my first year at university, when I realized that I couldn't sleep during the night if I didn't masturbate to porn." It's crazy how insidious the effects of porn can be over years or decades, as it slowly infiltrates your life and your habits and your routines and causes more and more adverse effects until finally you start to make the connections, either by finding a Noah Church video or reading about NoFap or talking to someone else who's recovered from porn-induced effects. But whatever the case is, you're still young when you have made this realization, so you still have plenty of opportunity to set the stage for the rest of your life to be free from the shackles of porn. I tried quitting, and with a lot of determination, I was able to go for 5 months without porn. However, I fell heavily into my old habits and started masturbating to porn again. I could do that more than 4 times a day. I've seen many people fall into this same pattern of that initial burst of determination and motivation as you make those connections for the first time and realize just how much damage that habit, that compulsion has wrought in your life and your relationships and your sexual history. And that motivation can take you pretty far, 5 months in this case. But for whatever reason, you slip back either slowly and insidiously, maybe starting with porn substitutes or edging, and then finally falling back, or quickly because of maybe a breakup or a disappointment or just feeling lonely or stressed or depressed. And then once you have, it's very difficult to regain and recreate the sort of traction that you had that first streak. And yet it is possible, not only possible, but probable when you have the right guidance and support, as well as the individual determination to really recover and put porn in your past. Going through this alone, it's like trying to climb a mountain solo. Plenty of people do it, maybe not plenty, but enough to be noteworthy. And we're all impressed when they do. But there are a lot of disadvantages to climbing a mountain solo. You only have the equipment and the skills and the expertise that you've prepared. No one's there to help you, and if anything goes wrong, you're in real danger because there's no one there to help pull you out of whatever situation you've gotten yourself into. You also have to rely completely on your own mental fortitude and willpower. There's no one there to encourage you forward or inspire you on. And yet, recovering in a group, among a team of people who are trying to do the same thing, who have similar experiences and are on a similar path, it's like climbing that same mountain with a team. Some of those people are going to be much better climbers than you. They're going to have more experience. They can teach you things. They're going to have cool equipment that you can use. They're going to have more expertise on this mountain. They know the routes that are best to take, and they know the dangers and the pitfalls. Some of those people are going to be less skilled than you and need you to stand up and be an example and help them out. And so they can inspire you to be stronger and better by being there and asking for your help. And you can all share a sense of camaraderie and inspire each other onward, pick each other up when you fall, push each other forward. And it's just a much more conducive environment to success for most of us. Sure, there are those crazy badass solo climbers out there who can do it, but why do this in the most difficult way possible when you could have a team around you? And that's why I do my rebooter support and discussion group, which is only $40 a month through my Patreon. We have a private Discord server. We meet several times a week. We check in with each other. We build these relationships and friendships. And we talk to others who know what it's like to go through these issues and these struggles. And that's just something that you're not going to be able to find very many places. So please take advantage of that. Anyone who's watching this, there's a link down in the description to my link tree where you can find information about that as well as other ways to get help and learn more. I recently found out a couple months ago that I wasn't getting morning wood, I decided to engage in real sex only for me to realize that I could not sustain an erection. My problem now is that I have found this girl that I like so much. She is pretty and the family likes me so much. Well, for anyone out there struggling with this who doesn't yet have that pretty girl in your life that you're trying to heal for, know that it's better to heal before you meet her. And that way, you don't have to worry about this when you're starting to date. A lot of people are discouraged when they're single. They feel like, well, I'm not dating anyone anyway, so porn is all I have. But when you have that attitude, you're not ready for the opportunity to make that real connection when it comes along, because you're still bonded to porn and unable to really open yourself up and connect with a real person. The parents want me to marry her ASAP. She used to be a hookup girl and recently turned a new leaf after meeting me. Her parents believe the girl's life turned around after meeting me, and they want me to pay her bride price ASAP. I like her so much and would want to settle down with her, but my PIED is killing me. I've been relying on tadalafil to please her sexually at her blind side without her knowledge. All right, so I'm not going to get into the pharmaceuticals, at least right now, but I'm not going to lie, there are some red flags here in what you're writing. Yeah, you said that she's a hookup girl, which, or at least used to be, which I imagine by which you mean that she's got a history of casual sex and not a history of commitment or serious relationships or in-depth connection. And people absolutely can change and grow and realize that they want something deeper and longer lasting. But at the same time, the best predictor of someone's future behavior is their past behavior. And a lot of guys would love to feel like I was the guy who inspired her to actually go deep with someone. I was the only guy out of all these other guys that she's dated and been with, I was the only one that she really fell for and really wanted to spend her life with. That feels good, right? And that's tempting to believe that story. And maybe that's a true story. But I don't know why you feel the need to rush into marriage. Marriage is a contract, and as much as any contract can be, it's permanent. It's going to have life-altering consequences for the rest of your life, even if you decide to divorce at some point. And I'm not even sure if divorce is an option in your country or culture, as I'm not sure where you're from. You mentioned a bride price, so I'm guessing you're not in the United States. Now, it seems like you already have an active sex life. You're having sex. So I don't really see what the need for the rush is. Maybe her parents want to rush you into it. Maybe your parents want to rush you into it. But you're young. You're both young. You seem to be in love. You seem to be having a good time together. So why not just take the time to really get to know each other and really get to know whether or not you're going to be a good match for building a family together for the rest of your lives. There's no need to rush into that decision. And many people who do end up regretting it, either because of divorce or because of just an unhappy, unfulfilled marriage. And they end up regretting rushing into something because they were excited about it, because they were riding the high of their emotions and didn't stop to look at the red flags and maybe slow down a little bit. It takes time to really get to know who someone is. People can keep a facade up, be on their best behavior for quite a while, or maybe you can be in the honeymoon period of the relationship, but perhaps once that honeymoon period starts to fade and you've been spending a lot of time together over many months or more than a year, you start to see some things about each other that maybe you don't like so much, or maybe you start to change and grow and realize that there are things about your relationship that just aren't working. So I strongly caution you not to listen to those who want to rush you into lifelong commitment, and just give it its time. Once in a while, I'm able to sustain an erection and penetrate her without tadalafil. Other times, too, it's a complete failure and she ends up assuming that I'm probably tired, and that's why I couldn't sustain an erection. She has once questioned me on why I couldn't sustain an erection for about 3 consecutive times. She is completely unaware of my situation and will most definitely leave me after finding out because of the life she used to live. I have been able to convince her that we stay off sex for 8 months till she is done with her final college exams, and I am also done with my exams. Even though she was reluctant, she agreed. I am scared of not recovering by the end of the 8 months and losing her. She is someone I will love to spend the rest of my life with. My life is a complete mess. Porn has ruined me. Oh, well, that does sound like a mess, but I wouldn't say that it's all due to the porn, honestly. I don't know her, but if she's willing to stay with you when she's seen that you have erection issues, and she does not know the cause at this point, and it might be something that has no cure, has no end. It might be for the rest of your lives. And yet, even suspecting or knowing that, she's still with you now. And it would seem to me that knowing the cause and knowing that it is temporary and that you can heal once you've been porn free for long enough would only improve the situation in her eyes. Now, I don't know. I don't know her or her attitudes about pornography, but also if she has a history of varied sexual connection with many partners, then she's probably less likely to judge your own past porn use. And I think you may be building this into a bigger deal in your head than it might actually be. I can't guarantee, of course. I don't know her. I don't know you. I don't know your families. Don't know your culture. But I do know the human mind. And I know that people tend to build up in their heads a fear of what will happen when you show someone what's really going on inside of you. You fear rejection, you fear disgust, you fear the loss of a relationship and a love that you're enjoying right now. But if you're not willing to be courageous and open yourself up and be vulnerable with her, then you're not giving her the chance to accept you for who you truly are. And you're not giving your relationship the chance to reach the depths of love and support and strength and commitment that it might otherwise be capable of. I'd strongly urge you, in sum, to reconsider telling her, because this whole let's abstain from sex for 8 months because of reasons that were unclear in your letter, it just seems like the wrong move. It's, I think, going to be much better, not only for your relationship, but for your recovery, to have her completely aware so that she can support you through that, and support you and inspire you in staying porn free, and also support you in rewiring and recovering your sexual function. Also, this may sound harsh, but if your relationship does not survive this conversation, does not survive the truth coming to the surface, then the marriage probably wasn't going to work anyway. You don't build a long-lasting, healthy marriage on deception and secrets and lies. Is there hope for me? Yes. Yes, there is. But I have some recommendations. The two biggest ones being, get into my support group, number one. And second, tell her. Go to the article and video on my website, How Do I Tell Her About My PIED, for a full guide on how to have that conversation with her to maximize the chances of success and having it be a productive conversation. And about the tadalafil or any sort of pharmaceutical ED medications, I don't recommend those either. I've talked about this in other videos before. It's just a crutch, and it can push your body to perform sexually before it's actually ready, like taking painkillers and going for a run on your sprained ankle, rather than just giving it the time it needs to heal and then gently starting exercise again. So, my friend, there is hope. There's absolutely hope, not only to be porn free, not only to heal, but actually to have a stronger, closer relationship than you've ever enjoyed before. And if you get through this together, you've survived something that is an adverse situation that has ended many other relationships. And if you can survive something like that together, that's a foundation upon which you can build a lifetime of marriage and family together on. But right now, your foundation is very shaky. Your foundation is one of, it sounds like to me, infatuation, masking, deception, and that's not something that I think you're going to look back on and be proud of if you continue down this path. I think you'll regret in the future marrying her or continuing with this relationship and keeping this to yourself. You'll look back and wonder, could we have had something more? Could we have lasted longer? Could we have had something deeper? Could we have had something more real if I had been real with her, if I had been open and vulnerable? Of course, you could end up single, not with her any longer, and wondering what could have happened if I had continued lying, if I had continued hiding. Could I have married her? Yeah. But if I were in your shoes, I would much rather regret putting myself out there, being honest, and just being who I am and being vulnerable and doing my best and it not working out than regret being deceitful, hiding, being too ashamed to show the ones that I love who I really am, and then having it not work out. One more thing here at the end for all those of you who have stayed to the very end. I want to tell you that coming up real soon, there's going to be a steep discount on my online courses, Reboot, Rewire, and My Life Rebooted. And these courses will guide you through every aspect of recovery from porn addiction, recovery from porn-induced sexual dysfunction, and building an amazing relationship and sex life. So if you're interested in these, you haven't already gotten them, and you want to be alerted when this discount begins, you have to be subscribed to my email newsletter. And to do that, just go down to the link tree below, click on the free PDF of my ebook link, and subscribe with your email address. Once you're subscribed, pretty soon you'll get an email announcement about this sale that's only going to last a few days.